Hi, this is Jim Jordan with Create Vibrant Health. And today I want to talk to you about not really the health issues that are going around with the coronavirus, how to protect yourself from a virus naturally or strategies like that. But I guess I just want to make this video for myself because I am really um, been angry a lot and lately feeling sad, truthfully, about what I see is going on in America. And of course, it's always scary when there's some, viral thing going around where people are getting sick and dying, and we don't know exactly why, actually, from my view. We don't know it's the coronavirus or what. That's another topic. There's a lot of questions about that. But what I do see is an unprecedented crackdown from state governments and potentially the federal government on our freedoms. And many of you know that I was a lawyer in my previous career. And, as a lawyer, we should be interested in truth and upholding our oath to the Constitution. And as every citizen, we should have an interest in truth and upholding the United States Constitution. And there's no exception for plagues or pandemics, whether they're real or exaggerated, in abrogating our constitutional rights. There's no exception. There's no justification for that. President Roosevelt in the Second World War decided that Japanese Americans should all be interned without due process, and through executive order, he basically imprisoned American people because of their ancestral background. He didn't do that with Germans, but with Japanese he did. So that was found to be later unconstitutional, of course, the Korematsu case. And that's a famous case where we look back on executive power being used unjustifiably and creating a lot of harm to people. And I feel this is going to be similar or worse. This is not a group of people. No matter how it's done, it is the entire population is being affected by this. Our right to contract, our right to assemble peacefully, our right to travel, due process of law. There's a prohibition. There's actually a movement to restrict habeas corpus, which is basically a right to present yourself to a judge to ask for bail, so you can be held. And these are civil rights have been being degraded rapidly since 9/11. And we're here to protect you from terrorists at first. And for those who've done any research, many of us know already that there was a pretense. The Patriot Act and all that there was no Saddam Hussein or Osama bin Laden. This was nonsense. And people gradually, it took them, 5, 10, 15 years, some of us, to finally wake up on that. But we see that now, at least a lot of people do, that pay attention. And this is no different from my view. This is just another, scared attempt to scare the population, which it's successfully doing, into submission, to give up their freedoms, to be told when they can leave their home and how close they can stand next to somebody without any scientific evidence. How this condition is transferred to people, nothing I've seen. There's plenty of critique of it, and to the point where even those that we rely on for information, many, not myself, but some people rely on, is Dr. Fauci is already admitted in the New England Journal of Medicine, last week, that the death rate is less than 1% from the coronavirus. Even if that is true, which is, in my view, probably not. There's many other factors and many other things are happening, and that's another topic. But even the person that we're looking to, the masses are looking to, is acknowledged in the New England Journal of Medicine that this is no worse, in his own words, than a bad flu season. So why is it that Americans have just sort of laid down their right to their property, which is work and making money and travel and association, going to church or activities? They've given their constitutional rights away because the governors of 45 states, at least there's 5 that happened so far, have decided that to play it safe, this could happen. Let's just shut down the entire economy and ruin half the businesses in the United States and put the people most vulnerable, living paycheck to paycheck, on the edge of survival, on the possibility that this could be really bad and be like a plague of epic proportions, which it's not proved out to be anywhere. We have the statistics for that. Even the statistics, the modeling that was relied on by the government, our government and the European governments, called the Imperial College proposal or something. The guy that wrote that said, I was off, my mistake. It's not 500,000 that will die in the UK, it's 20,000, which is bad, but about like a bad flu season. So, yes, and we're told hospitals are overwhelmed. They can't take any more people. Yet, hospitals were overwhelmed in 2017, 2018. Newsweek magazine covered that from the flu season. Tents were being set up around hospitals. It was already overwhelmed, right? No, didn't even hear about that in the news. Not a peep about that. And now hospitals are not actually overwhelmed because there's a lot of hospitals that are absolutely empty. Nobody there at all. Citizen journalists are going around documenting this. Empty. Doctors saying, what's going on? Some seem to be overwhelmed. A few do. At least it appears that way. Not saying that there aren't people in the hospital with flu-type symptoms and people dying. That's happening. But there's plenty of hospitals empty. You know, we're told that elective surgeries were canceled. That's why they're empty. So they're saying in the event that this gets as bad as it did in 2017, 2018, let's shut down the economy. But yet in 2017, 2018, we didn't shut down the economy. And things went just fine. We didn't ruin the economy, ruin people's lives because there was a bad flu season. And according to Fauci, that's all this is, a bad flu season. New England Journal of Medicine, look it up yourself. So I'm astonished at the lack of questioning about this. There's all kinds of discussions and fear going on about how this can be transmitted, and that's another topic to talk about. But I'm astonished that there's no discussion about how easily Americans have given up their freedoms. And I think there's just some lack of courage. Truthfully, I see a lack of courage. I'm not talking about courage to face a virus. I'm talking courage to stand up for we know what is right. This is not right. To allow the governor of our states to shut down our lives completely on the possibility of something, it's not right. And the more we allow to happen, the more will be put on us. That's right. If you give up your freedom for security, you will soon have neither, right? That's Benjamin Franklin said that. Those that give up their freedom for security will soon have neither freedom nor security. And we will be living in a country that we only read about when I was a young man, the USSR or China, communist China, or Nazi Germany, where citizens will tell on each other if they're standing too close to each other. You know, just I've seen some things that are unimaginable in the United States of America that I had loved my whole life until the last 20 years. I see it's going down the tubes in terms of Americans just putting up with things that our founding fathers would have never allowed to get off the ground. They were just taxed for tea a little bit too much and stamps, and they decided to overthrow the British. So it's time for you, men and women, to look within their hearts and look around your community. Are people dropping like flies? Is there some horrible plague pouring in that on our own we would decide to stay home if that was happening? We wouldn't have to be told by the governor. We'd just say, hey, this is dangerous out there. I'm staying home. So we figure out what's going on. No, that's not happening. Nowhere that I see. So look around, open your eyes, and make a decision. Is this the way you want to live? Because it's going to get like this and worse if we allow it. So I'm Jim Jordan with Create Vibrant Health, and I'm in the healthcare field now. And people have said to me, well, you know what? Your view is dangerous. It's dangerous because you're putting people at risk. Well, who is more at risk, really? Is it going to be are more people? And at risk, there's always risk in society. But if we ruin the economy, 1% increase in unemployment increases deaths by 58,000 people, from deaths of despair, alcoholism, suicide, unemployment, homelessness, murders, homicides. 1% increase. And we're going to be, who knows what it is now, I forgot, but it's way up from that. So who is causing more danger to the society? Me, that's saying have a nuanced approach, an approach that's balanced. People that are at risk should stay home. All kinds of things are short of shut down the entire society, other than who I, the governor, thinks is good. We need to be open. And since when do we elect a king or a queen? Executive orders are not law. They're not law. They're not passed by a legislature. So it's time to look into the law too, and to look into your position as a U.S. citizen, your position in society. Are you a servant, a peasant, or are you a sovereign? Does the government work for you? Do you work for the government? Time to think about that, Americans. And I sure hope that we come to the decision that this government is ours, and it's our will. And if our collective will is to stay at home like sheep, scared to death because we watch the media and think a virus is going to kill everybody, then we'll deserve what we get. We'll deserve what we get. And if your decision is to not, and to challenge and question this, then let's start a dialogue and let's start some action. Let's make a difference. Let's bring America back to where it's supposed to be, which in my view is a strong country that's a leader, that provides opportunities for its people, where the media is not owned by businesses, captured by businesses. It actually prints and publishes the actual truth, the news. You don't have to go on the internet to find the news. People that aren't bought. Where our constitutional rights are upheld regardless of the circumstances, regardless of the threats that are going on in the world. You don't imprison a part of the population like Roosevelt did. You don't imprison the entire population because there's a flu virus that's really bad going around. That's the country I love, that I want, where there's opportunities for all, where people respect each other, with diversity of opinion, we're not polarized so much, but we can actually see the value in conservatives and in liberals. They both have important contributions to make to society. Both do. That's the world I want to live in. And so that's the world I'm advocating, and I'm asking people to join me in creating that world. So thank you for listening to me today, for my little, whatever I had to say this today. Okay. Wishing you all well and many blessings to you.